So nice to meet you. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Girl, why you all one time? Girl, I'm just
Tell me why the internet is suddenly acting like a royal wedding planner, because French Montana just went from comments to crowns, and a lot of folks are looking at Kash Doll like, girl, how you feeling? Not in a shady way, more like that wide-eyed, nosy cousin energy. You know the vibe, everybody swears they wouldn't care, but the group chat is doing forensic analysis on an engagement ring. Most people remember the playful phase, Kash Doll dropping that "I land at 6 babe" under French's shirtless XXL moment, and him spinning back with the "on my way" energy. That was peak timeline fun, and when a clowny "leave these rappers in 2020" meme tossed French into the mix, Kash didn't just scroll by, she stepped up with a little reminder of his catalog and longevity. Quietly, that told you what you needed to know. This wasn't random flirting, there was rapport, a little protectiveness, a little pride. But here's where it takes a left turn. Kash's life took off in a different direction.
You know, and this is kind of the sad part about it. And look, I don't personally know Tori or Megan. I've never met either one of them. You know, I don't like this happening in my industry.
Yeah, it's just sad.
She leaned into family, into love, into building something with Tracy. Whatever people speculated online, the receipts show real milestones. Their son already in the picture. Then a baby girl, Clarity, born in June 2024. Father's Day posts, happy captions. That moment when you say, "My little family is complete," and you mean it with your whole chest. Per People, the announcement was joyful and specific. Names, dates, the whole arc. That's not a rumor, that's a timestamp. And then, because real life doesn't care about matching aesthetics, the weather changed. By July 2024, Kash says she's single. No coy PR language, just the kind of blunt line that tells you 1,000 conversations already happened behind closed doors. The timing is important. Baby joy in June, single in July. You don't need a monologue to understand the whiplash there.
It's just sad.
It's sad.
I'm just glad Megan is in a better space, because I feel like she was really depressed over that.
I'm sure. I'm sure. With literally the public, it almost turned into a battle of the sexes.
Yahoo Entertainment captured that moment. It's one of those clean posts you can point to when people start rewriting the timeline in the comments. Look, nobody wants to narrate their own heartbreak, but Kash hasn't played the mystery card on why it ended. Later on, she basically confirms what a lot of people suspected. Cheating was part of the equation. And when the person you loved admits they messed up, that has a weight to it. You can hear it in the way she talks about choosing peace, choosing stability for her kids, choosing not to make chaos their background noise. When the person on the other side eventually says, "Yeah, I did that," it closes a loop you didn't want to open. That's not gossip. That's accountability on the record, quietly noted. And if that sounds like Hollywood folklore, wait till you hear this part. While Kash was publicly resetting, French's storyline was leveling up in a way that made the whole internet sit up straight. The engagement to Sheikha Mahra isn't in the allegedly pile. Big outlets covered it with dates, pictures, ring details, the whole nine. Per People, he proposed during Paris Fashion Week in June 2025. By late August, the announcement hit socials, and suddenly you've got a ring that looks like a chandelier.
Honestly, like, all the women were Team Megan and all the men were Team Tori, and no one was really looking at the facts of it all. But I remember Tony Yayo, I feel like in my interview with him, brought the most clarity.
And a caption that needs only heart emojis to do the heavy lifting. The ring itself reported around $1.1 million. Emerald cut, very don't bump the glass when you toast. Again, that's not a vibes post. Those are receipts. Naturally, the internet did what it does. Turned it into a scoreboard. Level up this, house husband prints that. Memes were memeing. Under all the noise, there's a simpler story. Two people who once had a flirty, public thing ended up on different tracks. Kash redirected toward motherhood and stability, then had to make a hard choice when stability cracked. French redirected toward fashion weeks, runway moments, and a partner whose last name comes with protocol. Side by side, it looks like one person took an L and the other took a W. In real life, It's just 2 arcs, not even the final season. Most folks remember the messy posts and the back and forths. The part that rarely gets mentioned is how the timeline lines up with the decisions. Kash posting that Father's Day video with a full heart caption, then a month later telling the world she's single.
He said that in all the years that he's been alive and he's grown up in Queens and shot guns and been around people who shot people and so forth, he said he's never heard of anyone shooting someone, that person surviving and taking the stand and actually going to trial.
Those are choices you make when you've tried everything and the math won't math anymore. Later, she keeps moving, dates again, even ends that and says she needs to be single for her peace. You can call that an L if you want, but anyone who's been there knows it's actually a reset. Those who get it, get it. And French? The engagement is splashy, sure, but the detail I can't shake is the timing. A public, fashionable summer, then a very specific proposal window, then a tidy announcement. If you line it up on a calendar, it reads like someone who wanted clarity and permanence after years of music industry whiplash. And when your how it started is a comment thread, and your how it's going is a royal fiancé moment, it feeds the myth machine. But strip away the headlines and it's still the same thing Kash said she wanted. Certainty. Different path, same destination.
Rapper Kash Doll says it's been going on for years. Someone allegedly posing as her staff, tricking people into sending them money on the internet. Celebrity makeup artist Pound Cake got the deceiving text message last year.
Okay, but then this happened. The comparisons, the TikToks, the "this could have been you" comments. That's the part that grates, because it turns human lives into a choose-your-own-adventure where the right partner is a prize and the wrong partner is a punishment. The receipts don't tell you who won. They tell you Kash had 2 kids and drew a boundary when the trust snapped. They tell you French found a ring, a runway, and a yes. Everything else is projection. Here's the quiet truth buried under the noise. Most folks remember Kash defending French during that meme era. The part rarely mentioned is how consistent she's been about protecting the people she cares about, until she had to protect herself. Most folks remember the engagement price tag. The part rarely mentioned is how methodical the rollout looked, like a man determined not to miss the moment when it felt right. You don't have to stan either person to respect that. Before we wrap, there's one last detail that flips the whole thing: time. The internet acts like these choices happen overnight, but the receipts stretch across years. 2020/21 flirts, 2024 births and breakups, 2025 runway and rings.
It was just like, can you send $400 and we'll reimburse you? Once I sent the money, I never heard from them again.
I start getting DMs and I'm going viral on Facebook. People thinking I scammed them.
The person claims to be Kash Doll's good friend in real life. Her name is Jasmine Renee.
When you zoom out, it stops reading like a scandal and starts reading like growth in public. Which is messier, slower, and very rarely meme-friendly. So yeah, people will meme and the comments will comment. But if you're looking for the real sting, it's not that Kash lost a prince or that French won a crown. It's that both of them got exactly what they said they wanted. Clarity. One did it by walking away from a pattern. One did it by saying yes to a future with structure. The internet will call it karma. The paperwork just calls it timing. If you made it this far, you're the real MVP. Drop your take. Is this a level up or just 2 people leveling with themselves? Hit like if you felt the nuance. Subscribe if you want more messy timelines with clean receipts. And let's keep it respectful in the comments, because the algorithm loves mess, but we can do it with manners.